Hello and welcome to these DanielGee.com videos. The aim of these videos is to give you a little bit more of an understanding on some of the basic football law regulations that I advise and speak on at different times. So today we're going to be talking at least briefly about UEFA Financial Fair play. So I think what I'm going to try and do is give you 4 or 5 at least small bullet points to put you in the right direction of explaining what UEFA Financial Fair play is all about. Number 1, I think the point worth mentioning is that UEFA Financial Fair play only applies to clubs wanting to play in European competition, i.e. the Europa League or the Champions League. So the UEFA Financial Fair play rules are not to do with clubs participating in domestic competition. The second thing worth mentioning is that UEFA Financial Fair play is to do with, at least in the medium to long term, clubs breaking even. And when I mean breaking even, it means balancing revenues against costs. Now, for the UEFA Financial Fair play rule calculations, that at least means certain revenues like broadcasting rights, commercial deals, sponsorship deals, being balanced against certain other costs like transfer fees or wages being the 2 main costs that football clubs will incur. It's worth mentioning also at this stage that certain costs are actually excluded from the UEFA Financial Fair play regulations, and those costs relate to stadium finance, to training club costs, and also to types of youth development. So if I give one practical example about UEFA Financial Fair play and the break-even criteria, which is called the standard deviation provisions. The standard deviation provisions effectively allow for clubs to make some type of losses for certain periods. So if we take one example, the first year that the UEFA Financial Fair play rules will kick in for the monitoring and licensing criteria is the 13-14 season. But that 13-14 season is based on clubs putting in submissions for its 11-12 and 12-13 year accounts. So effectively, for those 2 years worth of accounts, clubs can make losses of up to 45 million euros. And if they make up to losses up to that 45 million euro level, then they will still break even under the UEFA Financial Fair play regulations. So break even actually isn't quite break even, but in the longer term UEFA feels that clubs adhering to lower losses will actually put clubs in a better position to break even in the longer term. 2 other things just worth mentioning in terms of financial fair play. One, in terms of sanctions. At present there are a full raft of sanctions available to UEFA for clubs that fall foul of the financial fair play regulations. This can stem from a fine to points deduction to expulsion from competition. But there are also new sanctions that are in place, which including actually not allowing certain players to be registered for Champions League or Europa League competition, as well as other squad size limitations that may be in force for clubs that breach the regulations. And just one final point to bear in mind, that in the last regulation and the last pages of the financial fair play regs, the UEFA regs anyway, there is what's called the Annex 11 exception, and this, according to some, is seen as a loophole, but is seen as others as another way that clubs can take costs out of the fair play calculation in order to adhere to the regulations. And that is that any players' contracts that have been entered into with the club prior to June 2010 are excluded from the 11-12 accounts for fair play calculation purposes. And that means that those clubs' wages of those players aren't included in the cost base, and then potentially make it easier for clubs to adhere to the regulations. So I hope that's given you a brief understanding at least about UEFA Financial Fair play. Just a few concluding remarks. Feel free to email me at info@danielgee.com for any potential questions. Go to my website, which is www.danielgee.com, and have a look at the articles, podcasts and other videos that I've recorded. And then also follow me at Twitter. My name is Football Law. I hope you've enjoyed listening and watching for a few minutes, and hope you click on a few more of my videos in the future.